Yo, this your boy 45, Purple Label Young. We back with another one, True Story the Podcast, episode 4. Today I got a good brother with me, who I grew up idolizing. Definitely one of the good brothers from my hood that, blazed a different trail than a lot of other brothers. And I always thought that was special and inspiring. So it's like, an honor and a privilege to have this brother on the show. My man Che Gravy.
Appreciate you, my man.
You already know. One love. So, like I said, we from the same hood, Poughkeepsie, New York, which is a particular random small city, in New York State. Mm-hmm. People consider it upstate. It's not really upstate, but it's a pretty cool city. A lot of interesting people came out of there. But give me your perspective. Like, what was your early influences? Like, what was Poughkeepsie for you in your era?
Believe it or not, Poughkeepsie is very rich in a lot of agriculture. We have the best apples. We have the best farms, the best dairy farms, the best steaks. We have the best foie gras. Hudson Valley foie gras is the best goose liver you can find in the world. So we have a lot of prizes up there in the Hudson Valley, despite, growing up in some impoverished neighborhoods. Outside of that, there was a lot of rich value that we grew up at. So it's almost ingrained in our soil that, we produce something from that fabric.
Exactly.
So I decided that cooking and culinary arts was going to be my drive in direction to get out of the hood.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Introduce yourself. I ain't really,
Oh, okay.
Who is Che Gravy?
Yeah. I'm Chef Che Gravy. Better known as the Stay Fresh Chef on Instagram. I'm from Poughkeepsie, New York. Born and raised.
845.
Yeah. I grew up in a single parent household. My mom's kind of fell victim to the, the 80s crack era, and I had to deal with that. So that pretty much, I started cooking out of necessity. I had a need to, I had a little brother and a sister to feed.
Yeah.
Mom's wasn't cooking no more. So I had to pick up them pots and pans and figure it out.
That's crazy, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's really how.
That shit fell in your lap.
Like. Yeah. It fell in my lap because I was working at a local meat market called Mickey's.
Oh yeah, I remember Mickey's on Smith Street. That's a fact.
So I was a cleanup kid there. You know what I mean? Like as soon as I turned 15, I got
Never
my
knew
working
that.
papers. Yeah, and I started. After school, I went straight to Mickey's. So watching these guys butcher meat. Oxtails, cutting whole chickens, breaking down whole deer, grinding meat, making venison.
That's crazy.
Making meatballs, all kinds of stuff. So I figured, by me watching them do that, let me learn how to butcher. So they let me pick up a knife. I started butchering. I'm cutting whole chickens on a bandsaw, slicing oxtails, making people deli sandwiches and stuff like that. I was like, what if I learned how to cook?
Facts.
Really took it serious.
Yeah.
And then I started watching the guys in the back. There was a little kitchen in the back. They were fried up little steaks and stuff back there.
Yeah.
But what really drove me is actually my home economics teacher, Mrs. McGee. Miss McGee was an inspiration because she let me freestyle in her kitchen. You know what I mean? We had a kitchen in school.
Yeah.
I remember there was 4 stoves in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I think they still got that classroom too. With the same stoves probably from back then.
That's wild.
That's a fact.
She let me get busy. I would bring collard greens from Mickey's and,
crazy.
And smoked turkey wings, and I go in there and make mac and cheese and all that.
Yeah.
Like, yo, who in there cooking? You know what I mean? So it was early on in me, but it took a couple bumps and bruises. I got kicked out twice.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I really wanted to do, and then Mrs. Jones, actually, Carolyn Jones, the principal at the time, was like, yo, they got that school. I know you love to cook. They got the best culinary school right up the road.
That's crazy.
World.
Yeah.
You should go apply there. I was like, they ain't gonna take me, man. They don't take us like that. He was like, nah, you can't, do it.
Yeah.
So you can't do it till you try it. So she was like, yo, do that. I applied, and I got the references. I did all the work. You know what I mean? I graduated, and I said, I'm gonna get into the CIA, and this is gonna be my ticket out.
So I definitely want to unpack all that. So family history in and around the kitchen, give me like set the scene for me. Like once again, like you said, your little brother, little sister. Like I know a lot of people, their kitchen experience is grandma, stuff like that. Like the grandmas was like the matriarchs that was blazing the trail, like for the family, Sunday dinners, stuff like that. Like, did you have that same type of experience?
Growing up, my grandparents, actually, my grandfather was a master bread baker. Like he would bake bread from scratch. He would bake these things called sweet yeast rolls, and people would come from all over. Literally, family would drive up to North Carolina because granddad is making these fucking yeast rolls.
That's crazy.
My French. Yeah. That are phenomenal, and they like melt in your mouth. So I grew up around that in the kitchen like that. Grandma's was baking pies, turkeys, all the holidays. It was filled with love and food, and abundance. You know what I mean? So that that kind of like enveloped in me. Like I like this is something that I could see myself doing, but at the time. Like, get this, at the time, it wasn't cool. I would get laughed at.
This
nigga tell you there cooking. You know what I mean? Look at me.
It looked like that's a female thing, like
that trade. It was a trade of an only woman because we grew up with women cooking in the household. Right, but as we see in our industry, it's a male-dominated industry actually. But the crazy part about that is, it's not more of a that you're dealing with your sensitive, side when you're cooking. It's more masculine.
It's very strategic.
Like it's very strong, and very tactical.
Tactical.
You know what I mean? It's a lot involved in that. Like it's almost like a science. And you have to control all of that shit.
You kind of give me the scientist vibe. Like every time I see you with your pens and your shirt. Like you always give me like it's a lab coat almost when you in the kitchen.
Literally, but that's the type of environment that you're in. You're in that kind of field to whereas you have to create something from nothing.
110%.
Make it look good, taste good, feel good, all of the above, or else it ain't gonna fly. So if you do trial and error and repetition over and over and over, you're gonna get good at it.
Facts.
So I just stuck with that knife, kept in them books, kept soaking up game.
110%.
Chefs like Anthony Bourdain.
I want to unpack that before you get that far. All right, cool.
Okay.
Poughkeepsie High School. Like, what year did you graduate? If you did graduate, because it was a lot of notable characters around like your era.
Right.
Like in Poughkeepsie, it was like shit was lit. Like gang culture. Like
bodies was dropping.
Like shit was lit. Like give me Poughkeepsie High School. I graduated from Poughkeepsie High School too.
Right. So 98. I graduated 98. I went to Culinary School 99 and graduated 2001. So
the early 90s. This is like DMX. Big.
Right.
Hove.
So in that era where thug life was a thing. You know what I mean? And people like us at our ages, we were young. I mean, we're teenagers. You know what I mean? So we kids growing up, and it's like, everything influences us. I mean, but it was more already happening than what we were getting out of the music. We were already living. You know what I mean? So the music was just like hype. It was like, it's a background music. You know what I mean? So it was like, all right,
theme music for the shit that y'all really doing.
It's really happening. Like, we're really doing this already. So it was. I mean, getting out of Poughkeepsie High School was a feat, man. Really, because I almost thought I wasn't gonna make it out of high school.
Why was that?
Because I didn't. My focus wasn't on going to college. Like I wasn't thinking about no school. No after that. Like it was whatever it was then, and that was it. Like,
you strike me as like a different student, like where it was like you just in your own world, like type shit.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm comfortable there, man. I'm comfortable in that space. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I don't have to deal with anything else but me. Like, so if I got to just deal with me, then it's easier for me to deal with.
110%. Because school is very structured. Like, all right, do this, sit in the fucking chair and write this and repeat that. Like, that don't really work for creatives a lot of times.
And what's funny is, I mean, I got expelled. I got kicked out of high school, and then I caught a charge, and they was gonna send me up. Or they said you got to take this drug program. I said, yo, first of all, I'm not a fiend.
You was hustling?
Like, I was selling.
Yo, I never knew you hustled.
Yeah. I was, doing whatever. But
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what I mean? Because it was easy. It's so easy. My mom's was a smoker, so it was like all her friends. Like I was getting money. It was easy.
Yeah.
It was too easy. You know what I mean? So.
But back then, hold on. Pardon me to cut you off. Sorry. They said that niggas would be on the corner selling crack, and police would just be riding back. Like they didn't really know what the fuck was going on.
Right. Yeah.
They said that's how free this shit was.
Right.
Like, open it was.
Yeah.
Like everybody's on the block selling crack, and police don't know what the fuck is going on.
Right.
Or what. Nothing.
Yeah.
So was it really like that?
Yeah, it was like that, man. And you know, they started installing cameras and all kinds of other stuff like that. You know, trying to figure it out. But you know, for me, I didn't want that wasn't the life that I really wanted. Unfortunately, it was the circumstances, you know, how I grew up and what I was in. But that's not what I really wanted. And you know, when I found my passion for food and for cooking inside of that high school kitchen, really, I started going home and watching the Food Network.
Okay.
Watching Emerald and watching, you know, all these cooking shows and stuff and getting more inspiration. And then when my guidance counselor and Miss Jones, you know, brought me in the office and told me about the Culinary Institute of America.
That's crazy.
It was like, yo, this is the best, because this is your best option for what, you know, you have a drive for. We see what you like. I think you should give it a shot, you know. But back to that charge, it wasn't even nothing. It was, you know, I had weed on me.
Okay.
So it was like a, you know, a misdemeanor. Like they was trying to gas it up, you know. And I'm like, I don't know who you talking about, what you talking about. I only smoke weed. That's all I do. All right, well, you gonna take this drug program. So I'm like, man, yo, I'm only 17. Like, I'm trying to graduate high school still. So when I got up to the drug program in Ellenville, I requested a tutor. I said, y'all gonna give me a tutor because I'm still in high school and I want to get my high school diploma. Right. So y'all gonna get all my schoolwork from Poughkeepsie High School, bring it up here, and bring me a tutor. And they did it, literally. So I did all the work. Yo, I aced them shits. It was like I got 90s and all. It was like, yo, how'd you do that? It's like, I'm actually smart. I just played dumb. You know what I mean? So, but. You know, I did that, completed. I walked, came back, walked, cap and gown, and went straight to the culinary after that. So, you know, I've been on a journey ever since, pretty much.
So back to those teachers, like
I got an economics teacher named Mr. Zinsley.
I remember Mr. Zinsley.
Mr. Zins.
I remember Mr. Zinsley.
He's a big advocate for, you know, black youth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he always inspired me because you know, the way he talked numbers, he would make you figure it out. Like if you couldn't understand something, he would literally sit there and break it down for you and make you figure it out. And it was like, yo, it helped a lot in life. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's like he was giving you life lessons, life skills. Okay. Something that you know, it wasn't in the curriculum. Exactly. You know what I mean? So Zinsley. I got Mr. Drakeford.
Shout out to Drakeford. Yeah. Did he try to get you to go to Norfolk State?
Yeah, of course. He did try to get everybody to go there. You know
I wish I'd have listened to him.
Yeah, me too.
No, for me personally, I wish I'd have listened to him.
Nah. I always wanted to go to a you know, a all black alumni, man. Yeah. But you know, I got veered into cooking, man. Cooking just set me there.
So the home ec teacher. Let's get back to that.
Okay, Miss McGee. Yeah, Miss McGee.
Why was that so important for you? Like that person with that, with that space.
She took care. Like she took time out to show me to actually show me that this can be an actual you know, a career. Exactly. Like it's more than just this right here. Like, let me show you this. And then she opened that door to the guidance counselor and it showed me what, you know, the Culinary Institute was all about. And I'm like, damn, this is like literally 10 minutes up the street. And like, you know what I mean? For us, I never knew it.
Yeah, none of us knew it. Like for us being in Poughkeepsie, we got the Culinary, we got Marist College, we got Vassar College. All we know is fucking Dutchess Community College. Right. Like we got Newport's across the bridge.
So many Newport's.
Like, and then what we got? We got Bard.
Right.
Also is up there. Like we don't know nothing. Like, and this is in our backyards, and you know we running around doing dumb shit, and we got some of the most prominent colleges in the fucking country. Yeah. Like, it was crazy. So, all right, the Culinary. So, Miss McGee brought you to the counselor, who introduced you to the Culinary. What was that process like?
That process was. Before you could even step foot in the Culinary, you had to have 6 months of restaurant experience. Crazy. So you already had to be in some kitchen somewhere doing something to see if you actually like this for real.
Yeah.
Like, you ready for this type of pain, because it ain't no joke. So I got a job at the IBM, actually, cooking for all the employees out at IBM, and there was a black chef there. Her name was Chef Audrey Dobson. She was a black CIA graduate chef, from the 80s, old school. But she was thorough. She was so thorough, and she grasped onto me and said, listen, this is how you got to do it proficiently. It's all about proficiency. You know what I mean? If you do something, make sure you're doing it proficiently, and it's the exact way that it should be. So she's taught me how to fold an omelet on a griddle, on a flat top, how to poach an egg properly. I was cooking breakfast for the employees, so it was breakfast cookery. So you had to learn how to make a proper biscuit. You know what I mean?
And this is at IBM.
And this is at IBM,
which is right up the street from the culinary.
Right. So this is on the same route, Route 9. Right. So having these people keep flashing in was like a direct drive for me to go to CIA. You know what I mean? So it's like, your first employer is an African-American woman, CIA graduate, that's a chef, and that's your superior at your first job before you go to CIA. That's like an introduction, like here you go, the door, we opening the door right now. You gonna go in there and get it? And I went in there and got it. I mean, you got to do a placement test. You got to learn culinary French.
Culinary French, what's that?
Yeah, culinary French is like, everything, the language of the food and the restaurant and the lingo and, maitre d's, and, how they say things in French is how we speak in the kitchen sometimes.
Okay, got it.
You know what I mean? So,
and there's only 2 culinaries in the country, right? Or is it 3?
There's 3. Yeah, there's one in San Antonio, and there's one in Napa Valley.
Okay.
And then the original one is in Hyde Park, New York.
So we got the original culinary, which is like, so pretty much everybody that we know as a chef probably came through this culinary, correct?
No, not true.
Okay.
No, not true. The culinary is like a really elite place. Like, it's really hard to get in there. Actually, it was more than what, you had to have, your grades needed to be, very up there, or you had to have a lot of money. So if you had $60,000, because I had to pay $60,000 for tuition. If you had $60,000 up front, just say, here, they're going to accept you no matter if you're 50, 49, switching careers, because he had a lot of career changes there. Okay. A lot of people just wasn't coming out of, high school going straight to college.
Facts.
There were career changers, and you were dealing with different personalities, different ages. It was like going to school with adults.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
So give me the demographics of the culinary.
Okay,
because for me, from my understanding, from being on culinary campus around it, I don't see too many black people, in my opinion.
So when I went, it was 90% white and 3% other, and maybe about 2% of that was black, if that. So I was the only African American that graduated in my class. Period.
And what year was this?
And this was in 2001.
Crazy.
This is in the 2000s. We're talking.
Yeah.
So 2000s it was still like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the adversity, that I had to deal with was wild. I mean, I got into a few fights there, man. I almost, got into a few situations because, it's like you feel like the outcast. You're the only one. You know what I mean? So it's like you either gotta, embrace, what the change that's happening around you, or you probably gonna get kicked out. There was a lot of people that actually didn't make it through, and that's why I said no, because if your grades weren't up, you're getting kicked out. If you didn't pay that that note, you're getting kicked out because you had to pay for that class before you took it. So it was set up like that, and it was grueling. It was no joke. It was like a military academy.
I can imagine.
Culinary arts. Like, all these chefs are master chefs, master trained chefs. Very, very, the training skill, the skill set that they have is like, they're like 30 clicks ahead of you. You know what I mean? They already know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's like they're teaching you as a pupil. You're coming in there to learn how to cook. They're showing you all the dynamics: braising, roasting, saute, stir fry, pan fry, bake, broil. They're showing you all grilling. They're showing you all the methods to cooking something properly. Simultaneously almost.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So it's like you have something on the grill, then you have something in the fryer, you have something in the oven, and you have something on the stove. That's 4 things going at once, and they all have to be the right temperature, the right flavor, right consistency, all at once. So it's a real. I would say it's probably one of the most, I wouldn't say most difficult jobs, but when it comes to being focused, like you have to be focused or it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna happen.
So like, what did you learn about yourself like throughout this culinary journey?
About me, I mean, I learned that, I had to practice patience.
I struggle with that.
I had to learn how to, to channel myself back a little bit and not be so aggressive. You know what I mean? Because being that I've learned so much, I've kind of developed this skin. You know what I mean? To where it's like nothing, can't really faze me when it comes to the amount of pressure that you get in the kitchen. Because it happens. Like if you're working in a restaurant, you're the chef of that restaurant, and one thing, is off, that could throw your whole service in a whirlwind.
Like burnt caramel?
Like burnt caramel. Like burnt caramel. And these are the things that, the mistakes that shouldn't happen. They do happen, but they shouldn't. And it's like, when you're dealing with a certain level of cook that thinks they have it, and they don't. That was a prime example of someone thinking that they got it, and they don't. And then
go to his Instagram, y'all gonna see what I'm talking about.
And then the shit talking, like you talking shit like as if you not wrong here. You're very wrong. You turn sugar into chocolate. That is magic. You're magical. You're Willy Wonka. So fiascos like that happen in the kitchen, and it's a learning experience. You have to teach from that. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, then you're gonna get another burnt caramel.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So,
and you gotta be humble, probably, right?
Yeah, of course. The person that makes the mistake, because we all make mistakes. The person that makes the mistake gotta be, oh, you know what? As a chef, oh, that's my bad. You gotta eat that.
Fact.
You know what I mean? And then keep it pushing, and then learn again, because it's a constant learning. You know what I mean? So it's like it never stops, and that's the part that keeps me going. The fact that I know I'm gonna get some more out of it. You know what I mean? Like it ain't ever over with.
Facts.
So
like, how did your cooking style develop? Like from when you came in to now? Because I got I'm pretty sure like they taught you traditional. This, but then you put your own spin to I call your shit the remix. Like,
right. So it starts, I like that. So it starts with the basics. It starts from the basics, of course. They show you all the basics, man, simple plating techniques. And then, you kind of like spawn into whatever it is that drives you. Like for me, what drives my palate is different tastes jumping off of each other. So I like tastes jumping. I like salt, spicy, sweet, hot, sour jumping. You know what I mean? So it's like you got 5 different, flavor profiles right there jumping at you. That's like having coconut popcorn chicken with a pina colada drip 'em up sauce on it.
This nigga's a scientist.
You know what I mean? Like that's one of those. Oh, that shit popped. Like my mouth, just was like it was Christmas in my mouth type shit. You know what I mean? So those are you develop I developed the abstract style. What I mean by that is I watched a lot of chefs from Japanese to Australian to French to German to to Thai. I've trained under a Thai chef from Thailand.
That's crazy. And I can imagine how
and he went to the CIA. And he went to the CIA.
Okay.
They flew him in from Thailand because he was in the army over there. They said you're gonna train to be a chef. And you're gonna come back and work for the royalty, whatever. But he ended up moving to Connecticut and opening a Thai restaurant. I don't know how he made it over here. But going to the CIA, you forever have a passport. Like we literally, when you graduate, you get a diploma, a key, a gold medal, and a passport. Like a lifetime passport.
It's crazy.
And you could go wherever because our credentials, our diploma has that seal on it. That, a chef can travel anywhere in the world and work as a chef.
I never knew that. Never knew that.
Yeah. So that's one of the perks of going to the CIA. I don't know, not too many people know that, but So, you know, I developed a style, an abstract style, from watching all these chefs and the flavors that they had. Like, a lot of them concentrate on one thing.
Yeah.
Like the Thai chef, his thing was just Thai food, period. Like, he didn't have Italian or French or soul food.
Yep.
And then you got to think about it. All these chefs that are not black don't have soul food embedded in them.
Exactly.
They don't.
Yeah.
You could do it, Bobby Flay, you can do chicken and waffles all you want.
Yeah.
But you're not soul food.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you got a chef, you know, a black guy like myself that is very well versed in his own culture, and then he has a credential on top of that taught him everybody else's culture.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You're dealing with some that scientist that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just take all of that and I put it like it's like in a pot of gumbo, and I develop and I take different things and deconstruct them and make it my own. You know what I mean? So.
Hey, yo, y'all gotta go to I can't stress it enough. Go to his Instagram. Like, he'll have like a fucking flatfish and filleted shit. Like, I like watching you fillet fish for some reason. I don't know. And I just think that shit is like, he'll like slap this shit on the joint, right on the table. Like, my son is a scientist.
Yeah.
So fashion and personality in the kitchen, like you embody the fucking 90s in the kitchen, where traditionally, like, you know, it's very bland and basic. But you kind of got the pop, like, where it's like when you come in and everybody loves and respects that shit. Like, I feel like in other places, like, or other people was like, if it wasn't you, they wouldn't be jacking and shit. So how did you get, like, you know, to incorporate fashion and personality into the kitchen?
Well, I mean, the key to life is energy, man, and the key to how I do things is positive energy. So it's like when I come in the room, it's automatic. You know, you feel that positive energy, and he's like, man, this dude is like, yo, he makes me want to work with him. He makes me want to work. It
looked fun, like, in your kitchen.
Like, yo, like, oh wow, oh, look how cool he looks.
Yeah.
I got a lot of people that were attracted to just what I look like. Yeah. Like, they were walking by like, oh, I want to come work with him or work for him. Yeah. Because he don't look like he's going to be a dick or something like that. You know what I mean? And that's literally what goes on in the industry. A lot of chefs are pricks. Like, they're real assholes.
I can't imagine.
You know what I mean? And they don't like you. You know what I mean? It's like, they're not there to like you. They're not there to, you know, accommodate you or make you happy. They're there to do the job, and they want you to do the job. And a lot of them are just stern and just rigid. You know, me, I've dealt with a lot of chefs like that. You know, I had to take this shit, and it was what it was. But for me, I know giving that to somebody is not gonna make them want to be better or want to work with somebody or want to, you know, it's not gonna make somebody want to do anything good. So you're gonna get shit food.
Facts.
You're gonna get bad service.
Because it's like you said, it's
slow.
energy.
Yeah, it's energy.
It's translating
so
into
you spewing out negative energy. That's what they're gonna give you back.
Exactly.
In the form of what you don't want to see on that plate. So, you know, for me, fashion wise,
because you be having like Jordans and shit, like
For me, fashion wise, like, I think that you know, we all as children when we were growing up, you know, we wanted to have the nice things. We wanted to, you know, the dress, you know, the part. You know what I mean? And it's like ever since then, I mean, I see a pair of Bo Jacksons right now. I'm getting them. Straight. Immediately, because that's nostalgic for us. You know what I mean? So you know, the J's is just like, you know, that's an automatic thing. But in the kitchen, like, you're really supposed to wear non-slip shoes, non-slip resistant. And I tell this to all the kids out there: don't go in there trying to be fly and bust your ass, and now you got a slip disc and you all fucked up. You know what I mean? Don't do that. You know what I mean? Go and get you some professional kitchen shoes, but. You know, that's another thing I would like to work on is some fly kitchen shoes.
Yo, that'll be ill. I can see that.
You know what I mean?
I can see that.
So, So, you know, for me, I go to work like that, but then I get suited up.
Okay.
You know, uniform type.
So maybe what I'm seeing is just you casually, fucking around.
Might be before the clock.
Okay, all right, cool, got it. All right.
Yeah.
So obviously, like you said, as a chef, you get a fucking passport to travel. Like, how do cooking styles differ from place to place that you've been, city to city, state to state, and how did that like influence your style?
You know, everywhere you go, they have their thing. You know what I'm saying? You go to Houston, they got their barbecue. You know, the brisket. You know, you go to California, you know, they got that fresh
Latino
vibe out
shit,
there.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You go to Chicago, they got their hoagies and they got they brats and they got
Pizza.
they steak. They got all that out there, and they pizza, they deep dish, right? But Chicago is a really, really a cool place, man, because for us chefs, it's like one of the restaurant meccas. There's over 8,000 restaurants in Chicago, and a lot of them are very, very, very good. You got chefs out there that are like molecular gastronomy scientists, like that really do crazy like spirit things, like they suspend something in the air for you. You know what I mean? Like crazy stuff.
My homegirl Courtney, like from Chicago, I met her in the airport a couple years ago. She always talks about the Chicago food scene. I never seen it.
Chicago food scene is crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy that you said that, because she be pressing like talking about it. And I'm like, is it like, we hear about Chicago.
It's really like that.
We don't hear about the food.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that you said Chicago out of all places.
Chicago, man, it's really like that. It's really like they got some great food, great places up there. It's a real cool environment for the food scene up there for sure. A lot of James Beard Award winners up there.
What's the James Beard Award?
James Beard Award is the highest prestigious award you can get in the Culinary Academy.
Oh. I thought it was a Michelin star, right?
Well, as an award.
Okay.
As an award. Michelin stars, it rates, a restaurant's quality and the service.
Okay, got it.
James Beard does all, chefs, establishments.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So what I'm working on with this restaurant right now is called Boca, Italian restaurant in Birmingham that I opened last year before the pandemic, is a James Beard Award for Best New Restaurant of the South.
Wow.
So, right now we're working towards that. And what that means is everything has to be immaculate. Like, not only the food, but the service. You're talking about glassware, polishing.
Facts.
You're talking about cleanliness,
Stuff that people don't pay attention
to is what the James Beard Foundation and the Michelin Star Guide checks for. All those things that the naked eye really don't be looking.
Yeah.
So those are the type of polishing that you have to be on point for, because at any second they could come walking through that door. Yeah. And it's gonna be a blind thing. Like you're not gonna.
You don't even know if it's
You're not gonna know. So.
That's kind of like on Ocean's 11. Like, remember when he was get the diamond?
Yeah.
Remember the guy, the inspector for the hotel? Yeah. He would get he was trying to, so that kind of threw me there.
Yeah.
So, all right.
It's like that.
Cooking styles, food styles, like you mentioned Chicago, you mentioned the West Coast, you mentioned Houston brisket.
Yeah, so I cooked all over, man. I of course, I grew up in New York, but I worked in Manhattan, and now Manhattan is a different grind, because Manhattan.
I can only imagine.
Is the mecca of food, period. Like Chicago, they got a great scene, but it's nothing like New York City at all. And I worked in some of the best restaurants in the city at that time. And being in the middle of that, you really develop a different style. Because I was working in a Pan-Asian restaurant called China Grill. China Grill was like one of the biggest restaurants at that time. It was at the CBS Black Rock building on 53rd and 6th Avenue.
Okay.
So it was at the bottom of a big, giant skyscraper, and a lot of celebrities would come through there. Nas and Khalees came through there a couple times. Free and Big Ticket would come through there because BET Studios was right up the street. Exactly. So they would come through there, eat or whatever. First couple times I ain't make myself known or whatever. But the third time they came, I walked up to the table. I said, "Hey, how y'all doing? I'm your chef." He's like, "You? You're the chef? You make all this?" Free was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yo, so you could cook like barbecue chicken and cornbread too?" I was like, "Come on, Free, man."
Free from 106 in Park.
Yeah. Free from 106, right? So I was like, "Yeah, well, who you think you're dealing with?" She's like, "Oh, I got to get you to do a private event for me."
That's crazy.
Yo, I'm gonna hook you up with my assistant. Yo, we're gonna get you da da da. So next thing you know, a couple weeks later, assistant hit me up like, "Yo, Free wants you to do a private dinner for her at this hotel, blah blah blah. Can you pull it off?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I can pull it off." So I was working at a restaurant called Tupelo Grill, right next door to Madison Square Garden at the time, and I just called up the hotel and spoke to the chef. I said, "Listen, this is Chef such and such. I'm down at blah 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 across from the garden. One of your guests would like me to come into your kitchen and prepare a meal for them." He said, "Sure, chef, come on over." And that's not likely. That doesn't happen.
Because their kitchen is their kitchen.
Like nobody lets another chef just come in there and freestyle in their kitchen. You know what I mean? But He must have knew. When I said, about the guests, I didn't say her name. I didn't say nothing like that. But he must have knew. Listen.
So she was staying in his hotel.
Right.
Okay. All right. And the restaurant on the floor.
Right. And then she told the folks that she wanted a chef to rent their kitchen so he could make her meal. So I did that. She took care of me, and then she also invited me to one of her charity events back then, Free for Life Foundation charity event. Amazing. So then I started doing pop-up events after that, like pop-up chef.
For celebrities?
You know what I mean? Yeah, for celebrities. Like, so I would I'll get a phone call to do something for, who I did something for back in those days. Vanessa Williams, right? So.
Damn, she bad too.
Yeah. And
is she still married?
Yeah, she's married now to a billionaire, man. She's doing her thing, man. She's living life. Beautiful woman, beautiful soul. So she invited me one time to do a barbecue. I had to bring out the coffee, Coca-Cola barbecue sauce. That they went crazy about. Like, her mom actually said, "Oh my God, it's the best sauce I've ever had."
Yo, my son got his own line of sauces.
I said, yeah, I'm the sauce boss. She's like, "Oh, sauce boss. Oh man, you gotta hook me up one time." I was like, "I got you." So we've been tight ever since. I mean, and it's all about building relationships and having a good rapport with people.
110%.
And as a chef, chefs are always wanted. Like, we're always needed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like people. If you have a good relationship with a great chef, then I mean you got like one of those aces in the hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I got one. So I'm one of those guys. I started doing pop-up chef events, and then I started flying to California, doing charity events for Diabetes Association, and I went to Telemundo, and I was just doing.
What the fuck is Telemundo?
Telemundo's a Latin television.
Oh, like the real Telemundo.
Yeah. So I did that with the Diabetes Association, and went up there and did a dish for them, and how to eat clean and how to use pomegranate juice. It's good for your heart and heart disease, and
oh, really?
how to use alternate sugars like honey and and molasses and things of that nature. So I was just doing that, as a career.
110%.
Because I wasn't in a restaurant at the time.
Yep.
But these past 4 years, I've been in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm running 2 restaurants right now.
It's crazy.
Working on a few more. So,
like, how historic is that? Like, a black chef in Birmingham, Alabama. Like, that's major.
Yeah, and then cooking French and Italian food on top of that. On top of all that. So you're talking duck confit and tagliatelle. You know what I mean? You're talking different type of pastas that I'm making fresh every day.
This is crazy.
You know what I mean? You're talking different ice creams. This guy making ice cream fresh every day. Like, you're talking donuts. I'm making donuts every day. Like, we sell about 30, 40 donuts a night sometimes.
That's crazy. And this is at dinner?
Yeah, this is at dinner. This is at dinner service. The donut is a $14 donut. It's a butter crunch donut. You remember back in the day we had the cookies butter crunch?
Facts.
So I woke up one time from a dream and I was like, yo, man, them butter crunch cookies. I said, yo, how can I make that into a dessert? So I said, all right, I'm going to make that same toffee that was inside of that butter crunch. That toffee,
them shits was
I make that shit.
Oh,
I make the
gosh.
toffee. That was the burnt caramel that son fucked up. Like, that was it.
For the
butter crunch, the donut. You see, so you can see how crazy I get because he fucked it up. Like, that's a key component to
He
that
said he
whole
could fix it. Did he fix it?
Then he said he could fix it. And the son tried to go in the back and dump this shit out. And he was going to try to make another one. Like, I'm like, you're a funny guy, bro. But you meet these kind of characters in the industry. They're out there. They're shitload of them. I mean, they come from all over. You wonder, like, where they come from. Like, because they're not cut from.
They didn't come through the culinary.
Yeah, exactly. So it's real interesting to see and to work with. But
butter crunch donut.
Butter crunch donut, man. So I had a dream. I woke up and I said, yeah, I'm gonna recreate that cookie right there and turn it into a donut. And
so you came up with the menus for these?
Yeah. I wrote the menu. Yeah, I'm a writer. I wrote a cookbook called 101 Ways to Make Gravy a while back. And I never got it out because
we're going to get that out, though. Don't even trip.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to hold on to it, though, really. Like, I really didn't want it to come out. Like, I wanted, I wanted the timing, because I wanted the timing to be right. You know what I mean? And I
struggle with that.
I wanted to have a canvas already, to be rocking on before I put out a product like that,
That should have been amazing. Like, you with a book?
Yeah. I mean,
I could have. Yo, it aligns, bro.
But think about it. I've been writing recipes since high school.
That's crazy.
So when you think about that, 20 years in the game, you've been writing recipes since high school. I mean, this guy has the shit like
Facts.
this. Like I could tell you a recipe to ice cream right now: 6 egg yolks, 2 cups of 1.5 cups of milk, 3 cups of cream, 6 ounces of sugar, and 1 vanilla bean, and you got ice cream.
Do you have a book like a scratch pad type shit that you keep?
So a lot of my recipes are in my mind, but then I started typing them up. I mean, I wrote them down a while back when we was in school. You had to write everything, and then when we started getting these go gadgets, I was able to type it in my notes and stuff that, make little emails and stuff like that. So I got pages and pages of recipes and ideas. You know what I'm saying? So
so all right. Coronavirus shut us down.
Yeah.
Restaurants is closed. Yeah. What are you doing? Like, is you're like such a mover and a shaker? Like, you in the crib. I noticed you're doing fucking live cooking demos. Like,
right. So you had to pivot, man. That's what that was the pivoting point for all of us. Everyone had to pivot.
Facts.
You had to figure out a way to create and continue to be creative, and then also trying to monetize off of it. You know what I'm saying? So you're in the middle of a pandemic. The restaurants shut down. They're giving out fake unemployment. You never know if you're gonna get that job back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you don't know if you're gonna get that particular job back, of course you can get another one. I mean, you need to. But why not work on your brand?
Facts.
Why not work on yourself? You know what I mean? So I took that time out to say, you know what? I'm gonna shoot a pilot for a cooking show, and I shot Chef City. I got a whole pilot in the can for a whole cooking show. You know what I mean? And I'm looking to do several episodes on whatever platform that I put it on. But Chef City is something that I developed while I was in culinary school. Yeah. Rap City was on at the time.
Yeah.
So I said, what if I was doing this in the kitchen? This would be crazy if I had the booth right there in the walk-in, or you know what I mean?
Because he raps too, like no bullshit.
So I was saying, like, what if I did a cooking show based in the kitchen? And I developed that, and I went to the Writers Guild of North America and registered it. Because if you register your work, can't nobody take it from you. So I got works registered already with the Writers Guild, and that's who protects your work in the industry. And so that's what I did. So I got a book in the guild. I got a cooking show in the guild. I have a couple restaurant opportunities that they want to venture with me on. And then I'm gonna open my own thing.
110%,
Eventually, I like to do these partnerships with people because it expands my audience. And
110%.
It gets me out there more.
So cooking on live during the pandemic. Like Tory Lanez had quarantine radio, and you had.
And I had Quarantine Kitchen. So that was funny, man, because he was going off, he was going in, and it was like, he was lit, he was doing his thing, and I was like, I could do the same thing with the kitchen thing, you know what I mean? Because I'm wild with it, and I could have a lot of fun with it. So I started making a Jamaican jerk chicken with a grill. I pulled the grill out in the kitchen in a little tight space in a condo off in the hills somewhere, and the only window in there was the balcony. So I was like, window vibes. I was like, Tim, I was going in. You know what I mean? I was making Lennox tails, mac and cheese. Like, I was bugging out. Then I started selling plates. Then I started doing the $20 plate joints. You know what I mean? And I just did it one time, actually, for the hood, like for the people that are in the area, the locals. I did a little joint for them, and they really loved it, man. They invited everybody to the crib, come pick up plates. I got you. And then did one of those too. So the pandemic was a creative space for me.
You had fun. You made the best out of it.
Yeah, I had to make the best of it for sure.
All right. Back to the professional side. Like, so tell me what it's like running the kitchen. Like, who's all involved in the processes that go along with it? Because, like, for me, I'm a foodie, but I don't understand. Like, when I would tap in, and this is another question I'm gonna ask you after this. A sous chef, it's a whole bunch, and I learned a lot of that shit from Ratatouille. Right. Like, I never knew the different people. Involved in the kitchen. So tell me about that.
I'm glad you asked me that question. So in the restaurant industry, there are ranks. Right now, it's 2 of us. It's me and Chef Tom. Chef Tom is an executive chef / owner who opened a French restaurant called Bistro 218 about 8 years ago in Birmingham. Back when the city of Birmingham downtown was defunct. Like it was broke down, abandoned buildings, boarded up. And he said, you know, this is gonna boom. This is gonna boom one day. Visionary. So he went and got the space in a nice, very nice building next to the, get this, Johnny Cochran firm. It's like right next door to Bistro 218, right? So anyway, he opens this restaurant. I come along, I guess 4 years later. Like it was open for about 5 years when I got there. I come along and, you know, we click like that. A chef clicking is a different kind of click.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a chef click is like, we get each other, now we can make magic happen because we get each other. So with us getting each other, we were able to open another restaurant. Now we have another, you know, venture after this restaurant that we're working on. And it's like, that only happens if you click with somebody.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you're able to feed off of, you know, each other's ideas, and you guys both get it, and you know business and you know the game, and you've been cooking long enough to understand that if you put this on a plate, it's gonna work well with this or pair well with that, and you also know wine, and you're extensive in those, you know, in those departments. So for us, for me and him, it's. You know, he's an older guy, you know, from Lebanese.
Okay.
But he's, you know, he's American. And from him, I gained the wisdom, the business wisdom.
Which sometimes is hard for a creative.
Right, because we're so busy creating.
Facts.
So, you know, we don't have time to look at the numbers.
Yep.
He's a number cruncher. Like, food costs
like
be at
Mr.
23%. Yeah, he's a number. Food costs will be at 23%. You see how I kept the food costs down last month? I need you to do that this month.
That's crazy.
So the rank you were talking about, as an executive chef, he's a slash owner. I'm right under him as chef de cuisine over both properties.
Cool.
So with
Chef de cuisine?
So chef de cuisine is the chef of the cuisine, the chef of the food of the restaurant, the guy that creates the menu, the recipes, develops everything, and creates the brigade system that he wants his kitchen to have. So for me, as the chef, like you are the chef, you have sous chefs underneath you.
What do they do?
Sous chefs are second in command to the chef. So anything I need, the sous chef should have before I even ask for it, right? So that's called mise en place. So, all right, rabbit mise en place. So
what?
So I need my rabbit mise en place. So that means I need everything in its place for my rabbit dish.
Okay.
So the rabbit is gonna need onions, carrots, celery, bay leaves, peppercorns, red wine, garlic, thyme, you know, and chicken stock, right? So I need them to gather all of that and have it ready for me if I want to cook it. If I want them to cook it, they got to gather all that and they got to cook it. And then I got to taste it and make sure it's cooked right.
Okay.
So if I want to cook it, I'm showing somebody how to cook it, because they don't know how to cook it. Because it's my dish. I just created this new dish. They don't know what it is. Right? So, but sometimes I say, hey, make me a fricassee. Make me a, you know, just make me one. And they make me out of their version or whatever they think it is, and I see if I like it or not, and be like, okay, we could work on this, or we could put it here, or whatever. So I give them creative opportunities too.
So that's the sous chef.
So that's the sous chef. Now underneath him is you have line cooks. Okay. And you know the line cooks are the guys that are online on different stations. So I have a pasta station, I have a saute station, I have a hot appetizer station, I have an hors d'oeuvre station. So the hors d'oeuvres is like the hot the cold appetizers. The
shrimp cocktail.
Shit
like that.
Yeah, prosciutto. You know, some carpaccio, stuff like that, Caesar salads.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then, you know, desserts, cheesecakes, you know, ice creams, you know, the donut, that's what they do on that side. So these guys are the line cooks. You know, they're just, you know, the cooks that come in and they do their job.
Do they go to culinary too, or can anybody do that? Anybody
could do a line. Anybody could, see, the thing about being a chef is anybody could do it, but it has to be done in two ways. One way is being trained under a I'd say star quality chef, right? That has an extensive career in the industry and has opened multiple establishments and has a background to be a sensei in the art, right? And the other is the degree, right? But that's just the beginning. Like, you're not a chef once you graduate culinary school. Like, you still have to put in work. You still have to go in these restaurants and train under these badass chefs and work with all these cooks that have been cooking for years and might not have had the opportunity to go to culinary school like you did, but they already know more because of the experience. So they know more than you.
Exactly.
Right? So you have to earn your stripes by banging out and literally cooking better than somebody. Out cooking somebody.
Like a freestyle battle.
Like a competition, like you literally have to outcook the next person to move up in rank.
That's crazy.
So as a line cook, if you don't outcook, like, because when I graduated culinary school, that's what I was, a line cook. Like, I worked as a line cook. And 2 months into my first job out of the CIA, the chef at the restaurant in Miami, I went straight to Miami. So, like, when I graduated CIA, I flew straight to Miami, and I worked in South Beach at some of the best restaurants down there.
Bad boys.
So, so Jonathan Eisman offered me the sous chef job out there. And at that time, sous chef is a big deal.
Yeah.
Sous chef is not a low position. It's a big deal.
Okay.
So, because you're second in command to the chef, and the chef is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So, sous chef position is a salary position, and it pays great, but you work a lot of hours.
Exactly.
You know, they work the shit out of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're working 60, 70 hours as a sous chef, and you're getting paid sous chef salary. You can make that as a line cook and get paid time and a half after 40 hours.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So them 60 hours will probably be more than what a sous chef
You
makes.
really just doing it for the title and for the opportunity
to have that on your resume.
Yep.
And the resume is a big deal. But also they look at like how fast you jump into another position. And if you wasn't at a certain position long enough, are you really qualified to be in that next position?
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. Like, I'm fresh out of culinary school. I only been here a couple months. Like, you're not gonna slave trade me into working for you as a sous chef. You know, you're getting all these hours out of me, and I'm not getting the pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I declined the job, and he didn't like that much. So I stayed there quite a while, but at the end, he ended up firing me. You know what I mean? He told me I was a catalyst for bad behavior. Cause I kept taking people out back alley and shit and threatening them and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I know that's not the first time you heard that.
Yeah. I know that wasn't the first time I heard that one, but he was right. And I needed to broaden my horizons and move on to another restaurant and learn from somebody else. And sometimes, as a young chef, you fly off the handle sometimes. Young chefs are hotheads.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to control that temperature and not be so heated because it's a high stress, high volume situation.
Exactly.
Like, you're dealing with a lot. So if you don't learn some kind of sense of self-control, you're gonna fly off the handle, and a lot of places are not gonna hire you.
Exactly.
You're gonna have a bad rep.
Exactly.
I mean, even if you got the degree, you still have a bad reputation. Is the worst thing you can have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna mention one name, and just Anthony Bourdain.
Man, he's one of the greats, man. Back when I was going to culinary school, he had a book out called Kitchen Confidential, and I read that book, and inside of this book was literally a inside to all the shit that goes down in the kitchens in Manhattan, and this was in Hell's Kitchen. This is in when, like, it was real wild. Drugs was rampant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the scene was wild.
Yeah.
And
it's like Basquiat and shit. Around that time, would it be that? Because I remember Basquiat talks about how the art district, type shit. So
it's like a direct mirror to that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because the food art scene, the culinary art scene has always been thriving in that sense, as the art scene has been.
Yeah. So
it's like they've been like by its side, because as you see, most art events have food.
Yeah.
They're catered events, and the food has to look just as good as the art. So we're both in the same field here. So during that time with Anthony Bourdain, what he did was he gave you the raw deal of what this is and what it could be.
Yeah.
He gave you that version of it, and I was intrigued, but also I knew what not to do from reading that book. Like, I knew what not to do, what roads not to take. You know what I mean? And that was my inspiration from him, because I never met him.
Yeah.
I never got the opportunity to work for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I would have loved to. But I've learned from a lot of my comrades who have worked with him and met him and worked for him and stuff like that, that like his control, and that's what it's about in our industry. It's about control, in the way like he's able to, have this, like almost like a a sporadic way of thinking to where things be all over the place. He still has control of that, and it speaks through his food. So Anthony Bourdain was one of those guys that like they don't come around
Yeah,
like that. You know what I mean? And he's one of those guys that I look to wanting to be like, you know, idolize that.
Fuck
you know what I mean? Like, yo, that nigga
is he like a chef fucking rock star, like icon? Like, I looked at him as a revolutionary. I would watch every show he ever did. Like, I caught one on my Fire Stick that probably was around the time that he probably wrote that book. He was in one of these back alley fucking restaurants, you know, smoking bad cigarettes, you know, type shit. And he was young.
You got the chance to experience his likeness, man, and his expertise, because he's one of the pioneers of the culinary world.
You kind of embody a lot of what I seen in him, like. Where it's like he's not just a chef, like he's like, you know, like an explorer. Like, he's not of the restaurant. Like, he's like he works in the industry, but it's like it's so much more to him as an individual.
See, the thing,
and I see the same thing in you.
See, the thing about it is, you know, every chef can cook, but not all chefs have personality.
Yep.
You know, not all chefs have that character to whereas they can, you know, command a crowd, you know, capture an audience.
Yep.
And that's what he was able to do. He was able to capture an audience that hasn't seen a chef outside of his element.
Yeah.
Outside of his cooking element. A lot of these cooking shows are based on chefs being in the kitchen.
Exactly.
You know, and just doing whatever they do in the kitchen.
And like the industry would try to put somebody like him, like yourself, in a box. Like, no, fucking do it like how we've been doing it. Like, and it's like, I feel like that's the shit that made him not want to fucking, you know, cook and, you know, go more towards like, you know, the personality space.
Right, because you can't put me in the box. So his whole approach was like, I'm not gonna let y'all, you know, box me in to being just, you know, what you think I am. You know, I'm much more than that. And what he did was No Reservations was like he kind of like broke that barrier that chefs should just stay in the kitchen. It's like shut up and dribble. Shut up
exactly.
Cook. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, we're authors. You know what I mean? We're writers, we're inventors, we're travelers, we're you know, fathers, we're, you know, chefs wear a lot of hats. You know what I mean? Like they're really involved, but it's the personality that brings all that out. You know what I mean? Like, so with Emerald was able to capture an audience with his personality. Like he could cook
and talk at the same
time. Like entertain. You know, throw a bam in there. You know, and wow the crowd. That type of personality is what they look for. You know what I mean? So with me, I'm naturally like that. I was naturally like that before I got involved with cooking. Like, you know, it was just, you know, that was just in my character to be a outspoken, you know, extrovert that, you know, that commands a certain type of attention because he says, you know, different things. Like his language is different, like his slang is different. And then when they seen me come into the kitchen with all that, and they're like, man, he got hip hop, he's got, you know what I mean? Like he knows different lingo, and it's like, you know, he's able to create dishes inspired from that.
Like you got like some E40 shit going on.
Like, you know, it's like tell me when to go, and it be like that. You might turn on that, you know, just some hyphy music sometimes when you in that vibe and you cooking that type of food. You know what I mean? Like I've been out to California and I've been in kitchens to whereas, you know, that's all they listen to. That's crazy. That's what they listen to on their coast.
Because he got his own language, how you got like you got your own language like at points. Like
and you know, and a lot of it comes from just learning a lot of new words too, and then being able to flip them a certain kind of way. Like if I say mirepoix, like that's not a normal thing that people say.
No, what the fuck that is?
Like mirepoix is 50% onions, 25% carrots, and 25% celery. And what that is, it's the base, it's the flavoring base for most
like
things
like
good.
The Trinity.
It's a trinity of vegetables that enhance the flavor in food. So you put all those ingredients into a pot of water with some chicken bones, and now you got chicken stock.
Facts.
You know, you put all those ingredients in a pot of with olive oil and garlic, and throw some tomatoes in there. Now you got tomato sauce. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that I would take these words and I would bring them back to the hood. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, man, I need my mise en place. Yo, what the fuck? Yo, what is that, bro? Mise en place. Yo, I need everything in this place, B. Like, you know what I mean? So it's funny because you can also teach people from that. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
What trends, like, if any, are you noticing in the industry now? Like, 'cause you know, like, everything is like fucking, like, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a fucking this, I'm a chef. Like,
yeah, it's funny because I sparked a few of these trends, right? And you know, I did a dish a while ago. I mean, I'd probably say 10 years or so ago, called the Pineapple Express. To whereas I took a pineapple and gutted it out.
Oh yeah.
Made this fried rice.
A wave.
Right, a curry chicken and rice or whatever, and put it in the bowl. And it's called the Pineapple Express. Next thing you know,
everybody
got the pineapple bowl. Trap Kitchen, those my boys over there. Trap Kitchen, they based their whole thing off of those pineapple bowls.
Fact.
That was their thing. That was their joint, and they did their thing.
Yeah.
So you know, when you spark something and you know you actually set a certain trend, you like to see it go viral. You like to see it take off, but you also like to get the credit for that.
Facts. Hell
A
yeah.
lot of times they forget that. You know what I mean? You know, when somebody says like pure wave or pure, or the purity, or something that has anything to do with something being pure, you know where it came from.
Facts.
And the thing with like my sauces, I got sauces that I came out with years ago called Drip 'em Ups, and it was literally me taking a pomegranate juice and mixing it with some kind of wine and reducing it down to a syrup and then dripping it on my steak plate.
Crazy.
And the way it dripped, I called it Drip 'em Ups. Like, that's the drip, yo.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, the whole world is on saying drip. Let's drip this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's funny because it's like, I embrace it because it makes me feel good. But another thing is being able to create something that is gonna stand the test of times, and that's what we do with food. Like if the chicken and waffles somebody did that, Roscoe's, whoever invented it, and it never left.
That shit stuck.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And chicken and waffles is a thing that a lot of cultures don't know about. I haven't tried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, things like that.
Waves
that just
give me some more waves. Niggas is
it's plenty more. So and with the designer chef jackets, like with the different apparel with that line, a lot of chefs seen that we can customize these jackets. So now I want a customized chef jacket. And a lot of chefs are doing that too.
Right.
But I was one of the first ones, like way back. I was splashing. I put Che Gravy on the back of one of mine one time. An artist out of Jersey City named Cheese. Shout out to
remember Cheese.
Cheese is that guy, man, that he's like a visionary too. One of those artists that can draw anything and he brings things to life. And I met him out in Jersey City. I was living out there when I was working in Manhattan. And I met him and we linked up and then we started doing a lot of work together. So we splash out my chef jackets and I would wear them to those events. Free event, I wore one of my jackets to that, and it was actually, that jacket I wore at free event was auctioned off for I don't know what it was. It was like something crazy, some kind of crazy number. But and then they auctioned off a raffle for me to do a private dinner for two. That was worth like $500 or something like that. So, that kind of fabric that you put out there, it makes me feel like like I've done something in the industry. That I gave something to the game. You know what I mean? So it's like I want to keep adding on to that by creating a line behind it and like creating a wave that these young cooks and these young chefs could wear and feel comfortable and stylish cooking so that they don't feel like, I'm in these little scrubs. And I'm looking like a bum over.
Yeah, you looking crazy.
Yeah, looking crazy. Because I used to wear them. I used to have to wear the checker pants.
The black and white joints.
The black and whites.
I find those synonymous. I find those synonymous with Mexicans. That's what I always seen the Mexicans with them.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Mexican
like cholo
thing.
pants. Yeah,
like black and white checker pants.
Yeah, but it was a kitchen thing.
Never knew that.
It came from the kitchens. Yeah, man, that was the uniform back then. To classify yourself as a cook.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, they know who you were. But yeah, that uniform throughout the years has become sort of like a staple, a stamp of approval. Like if you wear a chef coat, a white crispy one, executive chef coat, they look up to you like, okay, he's not status. He's not. Yeah, he's one of them, but he's not one of them. Yeah, he's like status. Like he's up there. So it's a rank type of thing. And I used to wear my chef jackets a lot. You know, when I be driving, I'll drive home because I get pulled over. I got an all white chef jacket. I just come from work. I'm chef. And I've got out a lot of shit doing that. But I feel good wearing it. I feel good wearing my jacket because I know that's something that I pride myself on my career and building, whatever I built from it.
Facts.
Yeah.
The famous macaroni and cheese.
Oh, the Crack Attack Mac. Okay.
And what makes a good mac? Like good mac and cheese? 'Cause I haven't really had much good macaroni and cheese in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like,
so
FYI.
What a lot of people don't do when they make mac and cheese is they don't make a Mornay. So I'm the sauce boss. I know how to make every sauce there is, and I've created some of my own. So Mornay is a classical French term for cheese sauce. So a Mornay is a bechamel, which the bechamel is a milk and roux-based sauce with nutmeg. No, nutmeg is added to an Alfredo. Bechamel is just a roux-based sauce with milk that you can do a derivative from, like a cheese sauce, right? So white cheese sauce is, any kind of white cheese, white cheddar, Parmesan, Asiago, Pecorino, whatever kind of white cheese. So with my Crack Attack Mac what I do is I make a Mornay, which is a cheese sauce, but it's not thick and clumpy. It's like smooth and creamy, and then I add cheeses to that. So if I'm making a my red velvet mac and my lobster red velvet mac and cheese,
that shit is crazy.
I do the port wine cheddar cheese, which is a port wine infused cheddar that is marbled and it looks pink and red and has that rosé kind of.
It looks like lobster.
Right? Yeah, it looks like lobster.
Like a little bit.
So now when you make and that's what I was doing when I was in lab one time. I was like, how can I make these colors pop in this mac and cheese? And I said, all right, if I put lobster and then this port wine cheese, maybe you can make it like, red velvet type thing. So I did that and it was crazy, but it's the base is the Mornay. That's that cheese sauce that you gotta make.
That fucking macaroni and cheese?
Yeah.
Like, that shit is different. I ain't had it in years.
Yeah. It's been a while.
But that shit is.
Yeah, it's been. But we gotta get one of those too.
We gotta do something. Now that I'm in Atlanta, you close, you coming, like I said, I'll be forgetting. About until you pop on my time oh fucking Jay Gravy type shit but we gonna collab on some shit
of course
but the macaroni and cheese, all right, so they're missing the Mornay.
They're missing the Mornay, and what they do is they add cheese and eggs. They're doing just shredded cheese, macaroni and eggs, you know what I mean, or shredded cheese, macaroni, and some carnation milk or something. And I'm not saying that those methods ain't all right, but I've learned to make repetitive, I said, over and over and over. You make something over and over and over again, you're gonna find ways to tweak it or make it better.
Cause your macaroni and cheese, it be cheese in the noodle.
Yeah. So that's a fold method. So along with the macaroni, when I said I add more cheese to it, so you make the Mornay, you have the cheese sauce, you have a big bowl of macaroni, you pour a big pot of cheese sauce, right? Swirl it up, mix it all together. Then you do shredded mozzarella, shredded cheddar, shredded white cheddar, and you mix all those cheeses in there, and it's like it becomes stringy. Because the mozzarella is stringy. It's pizza. Think about pizza with mozzarella.
Yeah, like the Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Remember Ninja Turtles used to make pizza look
look crazy.
That's how that word. That's the perfect way to put that.
Yeah.
Because your macaroni and cheese
So then that's how you get that stringy vibe to it. Yeah.
Man, we got to tap in.
Yeah.
Advice to your younger self.
What I would tell me is just stay consistent. And I would tell me, my younger self, to patent, trademark, and brand yourself immediately. Like, that's the first thing you do is develop a you.
Major.
Find out who you are and learn how to capitalize off of you. So if I was my younger self at 20, 21 years old, I would have took the stuff that I was thinking about back then and patented it and made a trademark and said, you know what, battery's not included. I'm going to find a way to trademark that. You know what? 100 ways to make gravy. Okay, I'm a sauce boss. Okay, I'm gonna find a way to patent and trademark that, because ownership is everything. You know what I mean? Ownership is everything, because therefore anything you do or you try to put out there, they can't copyright infringe on you because you own it.
Exactly.
So I would have told my younger self but I learned over the years. I learned that these type of measurements have to be taken to get to that. Yeah. So what I did was I developed the LLC. I said, I had a company name back in the day in a group of my friends from culinary school called the Culinary Market Brothers. So the Culinary Market Brothers is like an enterprise. CMB is like a group, and of course I got that from New Jack City. So it's a group of, and I made it positive. So it's a group of chefs from all walks of life. I got a Spanish chef, Jamaican chef, a dude from Louisiana with the Creole. I got a dude from Atlanta, and then it's me. So it's 5 of us. And Culinary Market Brothers is a group that puts out products. So under this LLC, Chef City, 101 Ways to Make Gravy, and everything everybody else has.
Okay.
In their collective. So it's almost like a marketing group. Yeah. Restaurant marketing group, but we're marketing and branding products.
Exactly.
So yeah. So I did that, a few years ago, but I haven't really put anything out there because I want it to all come out the right way.
Yeah, we definitely gonna push the needle on.
Yeah.
Because once again, and I'm glad once again that you got to come up, because once again, I don't think people understand the dynamics. You an ill ass individual.
Yeah. I mean, and CIA made me iller, like for real, because when I went to CIA, it was I'm coming from the battlefield already.
Facts. Yeah.
I'm literally.
You one of the only people I know that went to the CIA. I mean, you and
me and Roble. Yeah. He did his thing, man. Shouts out to Roble, man. He did his thing. I'm
talking about from the city, from the hood.
Yeah.
I don't know nobody. Yeah, from your generation, once again, y'all two, but nobody since you guys.
Nobody, and then when I was in the hood saying it, they was like, all right, okay. Some of my guys was for me, and someone was like, nah, you ain't really gonna do that. We don't do that.
Exactly.
Nobody has done it before.
Yeah.
So, what makes you think you could do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it takes you to a certain place that you're like, damn, man. I really trailblazed something.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You're like, damn, I really opened them doors for a lot of them other young brothers to get in there and do their thing, and it's it makes me feel good. I actually influenced a generation of
and we're gonna try to get some more young black and brown men and women to go that route, because we need more representation
for sure
on that side.
For sure.
Advice to aspiring chefs.
My advice for inspiring chefs would just be consistency. You got to work on being consistent. You got to consistently do something right over and over and over and over and over again. And what I mean by that is, showing up to work on time.
Simple shit.
That's a really big deal. The timing is everything in the restaurant industry. Everything it works with time. At 5 o'clock, everything has to be prepared and ready on that line for service. Because service the doors open at 5 o'clock. That person's gonna come in there, linguine calamari off the bat. You're gonna get linguine carbonara. You're gonna get a garganelli. You're gonna get a halibut. You're gonna get a scallop. These dishes are gonna start coming through that printer, and if you're not ready to go, it's a shit show. And that, to these young professionals, man, work on, hone your craft, and by honing your craft, you're just making, your resume is gonna look sharp. You're gonna shine from your skill, the way you go in that kitchen and you lay everything down. The next person is gonna see that and they're gonna be like, you know what? I need to make him my chef.
Yeah.
Because he has the quality and potential to be a chef. He might be in this position right now, but if I work on him and I work with him a little bit, he can be my chef. And when a restaurateur or someone who owns a building has a solid chef, the perks are crazy. Chefs get 6 figures. Like big chefs, they get 6 figures just off top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like the controller of the food.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're the controller of millions and millions of dollars.
Facts.
You're in charge of making.
And a chef can actually increase the value of a fucking neighborhood, a building,
of community, a city.
This chef being it, in this space.
Right.
So
right.
Said,
right. So that's another part of it. The fact that we have so much influence in that area.
Facts.
The mayor has come to my restaurant, and stuff like that, man. And it's something that you like really look at and be like, damn, man, you know, I never thought that cooking would take me this far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like literally, like, you know, I tried it. It was something that I figured might work. I didn't know it would work. I figured it might work. But going to that school and having that stamp, see, what the CIA stamp means is like, it means like you're one of the best of the best. Like,
exactly.
Period.
Certified. It's like a certification. Like
yeah, of that. So when, it's funny, my chef, and I call him my chef because that's what we call our, you know, our seniors. My chef was hiring somebody a few months back, and he was like, you know, you see this guy? This guy's like me. You know, you listen to him, you know, you listen to him like you listen to me. He's one of them high dollar degree guys. So what high dollar mean degree guys, it means like he has a degree that automatically commands high dollar.
Facts.
Like you can't lowball that degree.
It's a fucking,
it's automatic. Yeah, it's automatic. So they know they got to come with it to hire you in the first place. But if you also have that track record and that career, I mean that resume that shows your career, and you show a pattern of working at successful restaurants, making successful, having successful establishments under your belt, and you work with great chefs, you're gonna get those high dollar jobs from your resume as well. So it's not just about, you know, graduating from a prestigious school, but if you work your resume up to that, I've seen it done.
No limit.
I've seen it done. There's no limit.
The limit type
but you make who you are. You know
exactly.
What I mean? So, yeah.
Yo, once again, man, I appreciate you greatly.
Nah, I appreciate
like,
you for 110%.
Like, I'm glad. Like, this shit, like, aligned perfectly. Like, you said you was coming to. I'm like, yo, when next time you come, you like, I'll be there Sunday. I'm like, let's do it. You like, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yo, man, I appreciate
just
that.
Like that, because that's love. That's how it happens.
110%. So. Let's sign off. Once again, how can they get in contact with you?
I'm the Stay Fresh Chef on Instagram. I'm Air Che Gravy on Twitter. And, you know, I'm the Chef de Cuisine at Boca Ristorante in Birmingham, Alabama. Also the Chef de Cuisine at Bistro 218 in Birmingham, Alabama. You can reach me anywhere. I'm always there.
Yo, that's it, man. We
Batteries not included for sure. Pure.
That's the good, bro.
You already know. Pure wave.
Yo, make sure y'all follow the brother. You know, follow the brand. 10 days, man. Tap in, share the joint, subscribe, like it.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all. True story.
My pleasure.
The coke cheaper, the flow ether. Feel like Broadway 9-7 coming out the speaker. Talking blue jeans, scheme type of drug money. Cross the street from City College, these ran a plug from me. Chinese spot, waiting on Poppy. 4 wings, whole thing, bout to cook it and chop it. Quick stop to the baggy spot, right by the Iron Horse. Then put Suge in a cab and send her up north. Oh, what a feeling when it touched down. Pull up on a block, free samples of that bust down. Fiend says a 9, maybe 10, but it's the best thing smoke. I hop out, you break fast or get your egg cracked open.